So today I'm going to be making a herb garden in a pot. We're going to do it as a wicker bed, and I just wanted to go through how I go about doing that. So a few of the items that we've got you're going to need is a drill with a drill bit. I've gone with a 25mm bit. Something to cut. We've got the geo fabric, which we're going to lay over the stone. We've got drainage rock. We've got the selection of herbs. We've got some compost and some premium garden soil. We've got just a small pipe to keep a gauge of where the water is in the bottom and to fill up the bed. And I've got some of my own special compost from the garden full of worms. So we'll do that in a few layers. Drilling the hole in the tub. So if you just take the drill, you need roughly 250ml of growing soil. So I'm just going to go about putting the drill hole about there. Something like that. Now this tub here doesn't actually have any holes in it. So this is where we're going to fill up with the stone up to that level and then put the geo fabric, then layer our soil. So we're just going to go about marking the base of it like so. For anyone wondering, this is a 52cm pot, just with the whiskey barrel finish from Bunnings. Our geo fabric cut. Now we're going to be placing it in on top of the stone that we put in here. So the trick is we've got to put the stone level to about the bottom of this hole. Now it can't be any higher and it can't be any lower. Any lower, that means that the soil is going to be sitting in the water, which is going to make the soil go funny. And it can't be higher because the water is going to stay down low and drain out of this, and it won't absorb up into the soil. So it has to be perfect. So how I go about doing that is I'm actually going to pour some water into here to create the level line, and then I'm going to add the stone into that, and that'll give me roughly where it is level within probably 5mm of it, which is fine. So I'm going to go and fill it up now. So that's about level there. So this is working off a 9 litre watering can. I've probably got about half a litre left. So that gives you a rough idea of how much water it takes to fill this. So the stone's going to go in here, and by the time the stone's in, we'll probably get only about maybe a litre or two that will actually stay in the bottom and feed the plants. So we'll go about filling in the stone now. Fill that up with stone, and as you can see, it's level there. It's perfectly level with that little edge there. Water's coming out just there, and the stone is basically level, and that's what we want. So I'm just going to lay the geo fabric in the bottom, and that will get wet and everything else, but that's fine. But it's just to stop the soil mixing with the stone and being submerged in the water. So some of the placements, I'm going to be placing my rosemary in the middle, parsley and chive just slightly in. We've got the mint and the basil, which will be slightly in. And I'm going to be then putting the thyme and the oregano to the sides heavily, so it drapes over the side of it. Probably positioned both on the same side, so that when you're positioning this pot, you can sort of have it where the sun is. And yeah, let's get into it. Planted out, and what I'm actually going to be using is my version of compost. This is something that I've got out of my garden that's been sitting there for probably about 2 years, 3 years, and it's sort of like a compost, a worm compost probably more so. So it's sort of broken down naturally through just but it's had assistance from a lot of earthworms, and it actually has a lot of earthworms in it still, which I think is a very important factor within soil to have, is a lot of the organisms and fungi and different things. So we're going to add this to the top to encourage the worms that I have put down the bottom to come up and through and around, and by keeping on top of adding a little bit of compost during this while it's growing, that'll keep feeding the plants naturally through the worms breaking down this soil and the bark and organic matter. And yeah, we should get a fair few months, if not 6 to 9 months out of this before needing to repot. That's going to happen for the next few weeks until the roots establish down into the wicker bed area. Only lightly, maybe once to twice a day, depending on the heat. Put this in a nice sunny area until they establish, obviously, and happy growing.